Chapter 1530. Mu Yu, Lin Yan, and Mu Ningxuang were in the same room. Before long, Pei Qian and Pei Li ran in. Lin Yan wanted to get to the bottom of this, even though it seemed unbelievable. She wanted to ask about the high-tech technology that had transformed the prison, but Mu Yu's expression changed. What's wrong? When Mu Ningxuang saw that Mu Yu's expression wasn't right, she sat beside Mu Yu and asked softly. My perfect test subject has begun to move. Mu Yu's expression was solemn. What do you mean? Lin Yan was puzzled. On the surface, this is a prison used by the Hunters Guild to imprison criminals. In fact, this is the base camp of my laboratory. There are many mindless evolved clones that I created here. Once a powerful evolved being invades, these mindless evolved beings will take action, Mu Yu explained. I understand. You mean that you also control Shang Yuan's experimental technology, Mu Ningxuang replied softly. Mu Yu replied, I mean, this place has been invaded, and the holy leader of the sacred land has come personally. Lin Yan was speechless. The holy leader had come too quickly. Could he spare her life? Mu Ningxuang's expression was solemn. She had thought that this place was very well hidden, and even the holy leader of the sacred land wouldn't be able to find it so quickly. She had indeed underestimated the holy leader. It's okay. Pei Li stepped forward and glanced at Lin Yan. I'll go meet the holy leader of the sacred land. Lin Yan hugged Pei Qian. Pei Li was at a loss for a moment in Lin Yan's arms. Then, he blushed shyly. It's too dangerous. You can't go out. Lin Yan glanced at Pei Li softly. No matter how powerful this child was, even if he really had an immortal body, in her eyes, he was still just a child. Besides, if she really went, she would be sending herself to her death. Although you can't be killed, you can't be a match for the holy leader. Besides, there is a guardian whose mind has evolved to the peak. What will you do if you encounter that guardian? Pei Qian asked. Even if he couldn't be killed, he would only be asking for trouble. What's the situation now? Mu Ningxuang asked Mu Yu. Mu Yu fell silent for a moment before replying, the situation isn't good. There are about 20 mindless evolved beings that I created. I think they have all been wiped out. What's a mindless evolved being? Asked Lin Yan. An evolver without a mind can be understood as a battle tool that possesses the power of an evolver. They do not have any thoughts or emotions, and are only under my control. Mu Yu said. Lin Yan looked pensive. Just like Bai? Mu Yu shook her head. It's completely different. One is a normal human who has been greatly enhanced and evolved through experiments, while the other is a pure fighting tool. Strictly speaking, they are not human. You can think of it as, robot? Asked Lin Yan. Alright, you can understand it that way, but this isn't the time to talk about it. Aren't you afraid? Mu Yu asked. Lin Yan shook her head. What's the point of being afraid? Are you afraid? I'm so scared. Mu Yu said. Lin Yan was speechless. However, this is my home ground. Even if the holy leader of the Holy Land personally comes, before Mu Yu could finish, Lin Yan blurted out excitedly, you have a way to defeat him? Hearing that, Mu Yu said, I have a way to prevent them from finding us so quickly. End of chapter. Chapter 1531. Lin Yan stared at Mu Yu in silence. Mu Ningxuang said, Little Yu, I understand what you mean. This is your territory, so we can die slower. Okay. Mu Yu nodded. Lin Yan was speechless. Mu Yu did have some trump cards, but those perfect evolvers were humans with flesh and blood, and she could not bring herself to send them to their deaths. However, the evolvers that were created from Wang Jingyang's unique genes could be used without any qualms. Shang Yuan, what way do you have to restrain the Holy Lord? Mu Ningxuang muttered worriedly. It had been so long, but Shang Yuan still hadn't appeared. Did he really not care about his daughter? After a while, Mu Yu called everyone to the main hall and told them about the situation. Let's see if we can think of a way to kill the Holy Lord, suggested Mu Feng. Impossible, replied Shang Hui. Mu Feng replied, then we'll kill the other guardian. Everyone was speechless. Sister Yan, I have a suggestion. Xing Chen stepped forward. Go ahead. Lin Yan nodded. Since we can't beat him, let's stall for time, said Xing Chen. He believed that Brother Yu would definitely break through. Besides, he had already asked Ling Yu to inform Heaven Pardon. He believed that they would arrive soon. Stall for time? Lin Yan stared at Xing Chen speechlessly. Haven't we been stalling for time? I will try my best, but I'm afraid I won't be able to hold on for long. Mu Yu whispered, the Holy Lord has a peak evolved being with him. It will be too easy for him to track us down. Sister, can you change the terrain here so that we can keep moving? Asked Lin Yan. Mu Yu glanced at Lin Yan in surprise. I don't have that ability yet. Xiao Ji, who had been silent all this while, said, Mu Yu, how long can you stall for? I'm afraid only a few hours at most. This is assuming that I sacrifice many mindless evolved beings. Otherwise, I won't be able to last more than 15 minutes. Can the Shang clan leader arrive in a few hours? Xiao Ji asked Shang Yu. Shang Yu did not answer and fell into silence. It was obvious that even Shang Yu, the adopted son, did not know Shang Yuan's whereabouts, nor did he know when Shang Yuan would arrive. Perhaps it would be very fast, perhaps it would be very slow. He could not be sure how fast or slow he would arrive. I'm afraid that Father will need some time. Moreover, Father only said that he knows a way to deal with the Holy Master of a holy land. However, I'm not sure if it will be effective, said Shang Hui. Understood. After Xiao Ji finished speaking, he fell into silence again. No one knew what he was thinking. I didn't expect the mindless evolver cultivated by Muyang's cells to be so powerful. After a while, Muyu murmured. The last time she obtained Muyang's cells, she began to study them. Unfortunately, the time was too short, and the combat machines she created could only learn Muyang's second form. However, this was enough to slow down the Holy Lord and the Guardian. If she was given more time to study and cultivate, once she could adapt to Muyang's third form, once Muyang's third form was released, his power would increase by hundreds of times in a short period of time, but the price he had to pay was death. Humans would die, but she didn't care about those combat machines. She could keep creating them. However, she didn't have time to think about that now. The Holy Lord had stopped all the combat machines, and the Guardian was rushing over. Chapter 1532. The Holy Lord is temporarily held back, but I'm afraid the Guardian with a spiritual domain will arrive soon, said Mu Yu. Mu Feng's eyes lit up when he heard Mu Yu. Although I have always been open and aboveboard, I disdain bullying others with numbers. Mu Feng scanned everyone. However, special circumstances require special treatment. I suggest that we take advantage of the time when the Holy Lord is being held back to beat the Guardian to death. Who objects? Who agrees? I agree. A member of the Mu family said. I raise both hands in agreement. Replied Lin Yan. I object. Shang Hui glanced at everyone. What do you think the Guardian is? He's a peak evolved being with a spiritual domain. As long as we give him enough distance, we can be killed with just a glance. Everyone understood what Shang Hui meant. However, no matter how strong an evolved being with a spiritual domain was, their bodies were very fragile. As long as a high-level evolved being approached, most of them could be killed in one blow. You're too cautious, said Mu Feng. It's a matter of life and death. I don't think there's anything wrong with being cautious. A top-evolved being with a spiritual domain doesn't care about the number of enemies. Let me try. Shang Hui's expression was solemn. In terms of speed, not many evolved beings could compare to him. As long as he could grasp the opportunity, he could indeed kill the Guardian with a single blow. Shang Hui had just finished speaking when he suddenly felt the world spin. Besides Shang Hui, everyone except Xiao Ji felt the same way. A second later, a powerful mental wave emanated from Xiao Ji's body and protected everyone. With Xiao Ji's mental intervention, everyone's eyes regained their clarity. What's going on? Lin Yan's face was pale, and her heart was pounding. She had felt as though she had fallen into a bottomless abyss. It was a fear she had never felt before. Thank you. Shang Yu glanced at Xiao Ji and thanked him. This guardian is more troublesome than I thought, Xiao Ji said after pondering for a moment. He was able to launch an accurate mental attack from such a distance. Is there such an evolved being in this world? Shang Hui asked with lingering fear in his voice. If Xiao Ji hadn't attacked, or if they didn't have an evolved being with a spiritual domain like Xiao Ji, everyone would have died. How could he be so naive as to think of assassinating the guardian? Stay in the room. There's no need to come out. Xiao Ji walked out of the room. Big brother, kill him. Xiao Yao said. A guardian who has reached the peak of the spiritual domain should be very interesting. Xiao Ji smiled faintly. Big brother, do you want me to accompany you? Xiao Ji asked. Will you be a burden? Xiao Ji asked. Xiao Zhe. Too ruthless. Xiao Zhe was speechless. Suddenly, Bai He frowned and asked, do you know Guardian Yun? Suddenly, Xiao Ling Bai master of the Yun Yun. Bai He was a disciple of the Holy Land, so he should have some understanding of the Holy Land's protectors. Even Xiao Ji did not dare to underestimate an opponent of this level. It was best to know oneself and the enemy. Protector Yun is the new protector of the Holy Land. Although he is still young, the evolution of his spiritual domain has already reached the limit. In fact, I don't know him very well. Protector Yun doesn't live in the Holy Land and only returns for missions. But this isn't the main point. The main point is that I know his weakness. Bai He vowed. Lin said. Bai He gritted his teeth and finally made up his mind. I'm not betraying the Holy Land. I just like to tell the truth. You're the best. Lin Yan nodded repeatedly. Other than being a guardian of the Yun is an ordinary person. I know that he needs money. Chapter 1533. Protector Yun is very short of money. He seems to have a hobby that costs a lot of money. Protector Yun will even accept some missions that the disciples of the Holy Land are unwilling to do, just for the reward, Bai He said. Is it a man or a woman? Asked Mu Feng. It's a man, replied Bai He. I understand now. Not only is he short of money, but he's also single and doesn't have a girlfriend. Mu Feng glanced at Bai He. Yes. That's true. Bai He nodded furiously. So, give him money, help him find a girlfriend, and bribe him to turn against us. Actually, it's not that troublesome. Otherwise, we could just bribe the holy leader of the sacred ground. Mu Feng pondered seriously. Bribe the holy leader. Is that possible? Bai He asked in surprise. Mu Feng stared at Bai He. You also know that it's impossible. The holy leader can't be bribed, but how can a guardian be bribed? If a guardian could be bribed so easily, they wouldn't have to be like this. Besides, even if they could be bribed, they couldn't be bribed with money. Not giving others a chance to continue speaking, Xiao Ji made a shushing gesture. He's here. Xiao Ji closed his eyes and sensed for a moment. Did you say that Guardian Yun is here? Mu Yu asked with a frown. Yeah. Xiao Ji nodded. Hearing this, everyone looked at each other. Was the guardian of the sacred ground stupid, or was he blindly arrogant? Even though the evolution of his spiritual domain had reached its peak, his body was still very fragile. Any high-level evolver could kill him if they were to get close to him. Once Protector Yun showed up, Xiao Ji would be able to pin him down, and Shang Yu, Shang Hui, or even Pei Qian and Pei Li could kill him. That's not normal, said Mu Yu. He must have some tricks up his sleeve. Otherwise, he wouldn't have dared to come here alone. After Mu Yu finished speaking, Xiao Ji opened the door and pushed the wheelchair out. In the next second, two powerful mental powers spread out in the void. Xiao Ji was like a statue as he sat motionlessly in the wheelchair. Impressive, Mu Yu murmured to herself as she sensed the fluctuations of the mental powers. Impressive? Lin Yan glanced at the statue outside in confusion. Then, she studied Mu Yu. What is he doing? Lin Yan asked curiously. He's fighting with Protector Yun from the sacred grounds. Both of them are top-notch evolvers. You might not understand how they fight, but it's a clash of mental energy. Mu Yu said. Lin Yan was astonished. I've never seen such a way of fighting. After a while, a trace of blood spilled from the corner of Xiao Ji's mouth. Seeing this, Xing Chen was a little anxious. We can't go on like this. We can't intervene in the spiritual battle. I don't know whether Xiao Ji is a match for that protector. Lin Yan shuddered when she saw the blood at the corner of Xiao Ji's mouth. Was this a battle between top evolvers? It was completely different from her understanding of battles. There was no need for physical contact, and there was no need for them to look at each other face to face. Although Lin Yan didn't know much, she was sure that the battle had been extremely dangerous. It was just that they couldn't see it. This is a good opportunity. Little Yu, can you sense Protector Yun's position? Mu Feng looked at Mu Yu. End of chapter. Chapter 1534. No, he has shielded his spiritual domain. I can't sense where he is, replied Mu Yu. I'll go look for him. If I find him, I can kill him in 0.1 seconds, said Mu Feng. Don't go. Mu Yu pulled Mu Feng back and frowned. His spiritual evolved level is too high. He must have a backup plan since he is so close to us. It will be very dangerous if we approach him now. Although Mu Yu wasn't a combat-type spiritual evolved being, she was still a spiritual evolved being and had a certain understanding of the spiritual domain. For a spiritual evolver like Xiao Ji, as long as he was on guard, if you dared to approach him rashly, you would most likely die before you could even get close to him. Why? Are you worried about me? Mu Feng glanced at Mu Yu. Mu Yu let go of him. I won't stop you if you want to die. Mu Feng wanted to say something, but Xiao Ji opened his eyes. Big brother, how do you feel? Xiao Yao walked over to Xiao Ji. Yeah, he's a great opponent. He should be injured too, replied Xiao Ji. This was the first time Xiao Yao had seen Xiao Ji bleed, especially in a spiritual battle. He had never seen anyone more terrifying than Xiao Ji. However, the other party was a guardian of the sacred land. Xiao Ji said, however, something very interesting happened when we were fighting just now. As soon as Xiao Ji's voice fell, everyone came over. Xiao Ji, you're bleeding. How do you feel? Are you injured? Lin Yan frowned when she saw the blood at the corner of Xiao Ji's mouth. It's fine, replied Xiao Ji. Lin Yan was relieved when Xiao Ji said that he was fine. You have to take care of yourself. Among these people, only you and little Yu are evolvers with mental abilities. She is trash. If you fall, we can surrender. Mu Feng looked at Xiao Ji and said. Ignore him. Lin Yan glanced at Xiao Ji. You said something interesting happened just now. What is it? Guardian Yun must have used his spiritual perception to steal what Bai he said just now. He said that he lives in the outside world and is indeed short of money. If we are sincere, we can talk, said Xiao Ji. Upon hearing that, everyone, including Xiao Yao and Xiao Zhe, froze on the spot. This information was too unbelievable. The protectors of the Holy Land could actually be bribed? What's more, he had to take the initiative to negotiate with them. How was this possible? How could this be? I'm done for. Bai he wanted to cry but no tears came out. Mom, what do you think? Mu Feng asked Mu Ningxuang. I don't think it's believable. I don't know if there's some kind of conspiracy. If the protectors of the Holy Land can be bribed, it probably won't be us, Mu Ningxuang said. Did he mention the price? Lin Yan gritted her teeth. No, but if he's telling the truth, the price may be an astronomical figure, Xiao Ji said with a smile. Ask him to kill me then. I don't have money, but I can take my life. Lin Yan looked determined. She had no money. Xiao Ji ignored Lin Yan and turned to Xiao Zhe. How is it? Xiao Zhe, big brother, money is not a problem. I can pay for it, but this is not credible at all. Xiao Zhe sighed. I'm afraid money isn't his motive. He probably wants to meet us, but he's afraid that we will suddenly attack him, so he found an excuse. After all, he will be in a passive position if he approaches us without warning, said Xiao Ji. End of this chapter. Chapter 1535. If that's the case, let him come and pretend to agree to the negotiation. As long as he appears, we'll catch him off guard. Ling Yu pondered this for a moment before speaking. No need. Let's see what he's up to, replied Xiao Ji. After some time, an ethereal voice rang in Lin Yan's mind. Come out for a while. Lin Yan stood up immediately and surveyed her surroundings. Master, is that you? If it is, come out. If it isn't, I won't show mercy. The voice rang in her mind again. Lin Yan was taken aback. This voice should be communicating mentally, so she couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman. It was just a form of mental communication. Who are you? Lin Yan asked in surprise. However, no one answered. Lin Yan suddenly recalled that she wasn't a spiritual evolved being. She could only hear and couldn't transmit. I'm the guardian of the sacred land. If you are my master, Lin Yan, please open the door and come out. Let me see you. Otherwise, I will carry out the mission and not show mercy. The voice rang in Lin Yan's mind again. This time, Lin Yan was startled. The guardian of the sacred land had called her master? Then who exactly was he? Could his words be trusted? Could it be a trap for him to get out of here? Xiao Ji, Lin Yan hurriedly glanced at Xiao Ji and told him what the voice in her mind had said. Really? Xiao Ji pondered this for a moment before replying, it's all right. Do as he says. I will watch you. If he does anything, I will be faster than him. Lin Yan felt much more at ease with Xiao Ji's protection. At that moment, Lin Yan was a little confused. Who was that guardian? He only had a few disciples. Other than Xiao Yao, none of them were evolved beings, let alone the guardian of the sacred land. Lin Yan opened the door and walked out. However, Lin Yan didn't see anyone. She only felt that an invisible eye was staring at her. After some time, a young man walked over slowly from afar. Lin Yan was so shocked that she couldn't close her mouth when she saw him. Lin Yan was too familiar with this young man. He was her last disciple. Yunxian? Lin Yan exclaimed. Guardian Yun of the sacred ground was actually Yunxian? No wonder Bai he said that Guardian Yun had a hobby that was very expensive. How could racing not be expensive? Lin Yan turned to walk to Yunxian. Before she could take 2 steps, Xiao Ji instructed Xiao Yao to stop her. Xiao Ji, that person is really my disciple. His name is Yunxian. Lin Yan replied hastily. Regardless of whether he is your disciple or not, you need to confirm it first. Even if he really is your disciple, it is hard to say in front of such a thing, said Xiao Yao. Yunxian walked halfway before he stopped as well. I need to clarify something, and I also need to confirm something. I need to clarify that I will not attack my master, and I also need to confirm that all the evolved beings here will not attack me. Yunxian seemed very cautious. Indeed, if an evolver with a spiritual domain like him were to get close to an evolver like Shanghui, he would die on the spot if he was not careful. Therefore, when he didn't know how to deal with an evolved human, he needed to keep a distance. Are you sure you won't interfere? Mu Yu asked. I'm certain. Otherwise, I wouldn't have appeared here. Yin Xian replied. End of chapter. Chapter 1536. Everyone, listen to me. Lin Yan said, I believe Yin Xian. He's my disciple. Just like he said, if he really intends to attack, he won't put himself in danger. Even if he can't break through Shao Ji, he just needs to wait for the holy leader to come. Shao Ji, what do you think? Yeah, that makes sense. Shao Ji nodded. Little sister, don't go over, Shang Hui said softly. Shao Ji, cooperate with me. I'm confident that I can kill him at this distance. Are you sure? I don't mind, said Shao Ji. Don't attack. Lin Yan frowned. Yin Xian is very sincere. Otherwise, he wouldn't have taken such a huge risk to confirm my identity, knowing that I have powerful evolved beings like you by my side. That's true, but it's impossible to be risk-free, said Shang Hui. If that's the case, everything is risky. There's a risk of choking to death when eating, drinking water, and even if you don't do anything, there's a risk of sudden death, said Lin Yan. Shang Hui was speechless. I think you're worrying too much. Besides, with me around, he won't be able to hurt Lin Yan, said Shao Ji. Shang Hui replied, since all of you think so, I will respect your decision. However, you'd better be careful. Lin Yan strode toward Yin Xian. Soon, their gazes met, and they were inches apart. Master, I didn't expect it to be you. Yin Xian stared at Lin Yan and sighed helplessly. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable? Lin Yan quipped, I find it unbelievable that you're guardian Yun of the sacred land. When did you become a guardian? You've been hiding your abilities. It happened a long time ago, but I've always been living outside and rarely go to the sacred land. Bai He should have told you, replied Yin Xian. Bai He said that you lack money. Lin Yan grinned. Yin Xian fell silent for a moment before replying, yeah. The engine is expensive. Lin Yan was speechless. Let's get back to business. What do you plan to do? Asked Lin Yan. If it weren't for you, I would have followed the mission's instructions. However, I won't do anything now, replied Yin Xian. I didn't dote on you for nothing. Lin Yan grinned. But even if I don't do anything, I really don't know how to stop the sacred master. Yin Xian's eyes were filled with worry. The divine master has a good heart, but he is a little stubborn, especially when it comes to the matter of master. He has practically gone crazy. Yin Xian, can you? Lin Yan glanced at Yin Xian, hoping that he would join them. However, their positions were different. The fact that Yin Xian did not make a move already showed how much he valued his master. If Yin Xian were to change his position, she would not be able to say it. Good disciple, come over and help us deal with the Holy Land. Unbeknownst to him, Mu Feng had walked up to him. Lin Yan glanced at Mu Feng in confusion. He's my disciple. Hearing this, Mu Feng sternly said, what do you mean by your disciple is my disciple? You are my little sister, so isn't your disciple my disciple? Lin Yan was speechless. How could he say something like that with a straight face? I can't do anything, but I will do my best to help Master. However, against the Divine Master. Yin Xian had a troubled expression on his face. Why? What's your relationship with the Divine Master? Mu Feng replied, he's the Divine Master and you're a guardian. That's a superior and subordinate relationship. What's your relationship with my sister? She's your master, and you're her disciple. That's a family relationship. Tell me, which is more important, family or leader? Say something. You can't tell me, right? Yin Xian was speechless. Lin Yan was speechless. Remember, your family will always come first, Mu Feng added. End of this chapter. Chapter 1537. I know, but, Lin Yan hurriedly covered Mu Feng's mouth. Yin Xian, don't listen to him. I'm already very satisfied that you're willing to do this for me. Mu Feng tugged Lin Yan's hand away. Hold on. I'm not done yet. Lin Yan was speechless. Yun Xian, right? You said that you've been living in the outside world and rarely go to the sacred land. You must have your own ideals and ambitions if you joined the sacred land and became its guardian. In this era, if you had grown up in the outside world, you would have joined the sacred land to maintain world peace. I'm right. Yun Xian was speechless. Justice should be the most important thing in your heart, but what the sacred land is doing is just. You should know very well what kind of person your master is. Should she be treated like this? Before Mu Feng could finish, Yun Xian interrupted him. I understand what you mean, but I can only say that we have different standpoints. The sacred land's thinking isn't wrong. What's wrong is everyone's perspective. Of course, I have my own perspective as well. Although I don't live in the sacred land, I know that in order to maintain the balance, the sacred land might not always do things in the open. I really don't like this way of handling things. However, I can't attack the holy leader. You child. Mu Feng was a little disappointed that the iron did not meet his expectations. It turned out that he had wasted his words in vain. Mu Feng said solemnly, since you know that the sacred land is in the wrong, are you going to watch your master be killed by the sacred land? Yun Xian pondered this for a moment before replying, the holy leader's ideals aren't wrong. In fact, they are very noble and deserve everyone's respect. However, I can't agree with his extreme methods. I will think of a way to help master, but I definitely won't attack the holy leader. This is the most foolish method. Even if I join, there's no chance of victory. There's no chance of victory? Lin Yan was astonished. Yes, master. The holy leader's power has reached an undefeatable level. Can a mortal kill a god? Lin Yan could tell that Yun Xian wasn't joking. In other words, the holy leader of the sacred land might really be so powerful that it was beyond everyone's understanding. If that was the case, even if Shang Yuan was here, how could he restrain the holy leader? Then, what do you think we should do? Mu Feng asked. Yun Xian shook his head. I haven't thought of a good plan yet, but I can tell you some information. Heaven's Pardon encountered the Holy Land's main forces on the way here, and they've already started fighting. I'm afraid you won't be able to wait for Heaven's Pardon's reinforcements. Lin Yan was speechless. Mu Feng looked at Yun Xian. Can you give me some inspiring news? If you do that, I really want to surrender. There's good news too. Yun Xian looked into the distance. My spiritual energy sensed a ridiculously strong evolver approaching the holy leader. He's not from the Holy Land. Huh? Lin Yan was surprised. An evolver whose physique has evolved to the limit. His fighting spirit is very strong, Yun Xian continued. At this moment, Xiao Ji pushed the wheelchair closer with a very complicated look on his face. Looking at Xiao Ji's expression, Xiao Yao and Xiao Zhe exchanged a glance. They had never seen such a complicated look on Xiao Ji's face. End of chapter. Chapter 1538. His expression was indescribable. It was a kind of heartache and pity, as well as a hint of reluctance and determination. He remembered that a certain man had once told him that he already knew his final mission. His life had to be saved until that day came. Moments later, Xiao Ji said, I still remember you saying that you have your final mission. Xiao Ji closed his eyes and sank into the memories of the past. He had once asked Mu Yang how powerful the Holy Lord was. No one could compete with him. What should he do in the future? That man had told him. He had his own mission. From the first time they had met, he had already decided that no one in this world would be able to hurt her in the future. Yes, he had his own mission. He had used his mortal body to seal the 3 layers of the seal. When the 3rd layer of the seal was undone, the sky would change color for him, and all the beasts would wail for him. All the suffering in this world would eventually make way for him, and those who bullied her would fall into hell. He would use his life to end all bad luck. He hoped that this day would come, but he also hoped that this day would never appear. Perhaps it's time for you to fulfill your promise. Xiao Ji opened his eyes again. I acknowledge you. Let me see if your ultimate power at the cost of your life can make this world feel true pain. Who? Who is it? Lin Yan's body trembled violently, and a look of fear surfaced in her eyes. Mu Yang. Xiao Ji glanced at Lin Yan. Wang Jingyang. No, absolutely not. Lin Yan felt as though her heart was being squeezed by an invisible hand. Let him run. No way. I think he is already mentally prepared. This might be the time when he can be comparable to the sun. Say it. No. Fine. Veins popped on Lin Yan's forehead. This is his own choice. He has no choice. I hope you can respect him, said Xiao Ji. Lin Yan felt as though she had been struck by lightning, and she slumped to the ground. The corners of Wang Jingyang's mouth curled up when he saw the clones on the ground. Master, long time no see. The Holy Lord was wearing an ancient robe, and his every movement seemed to be filled with divine might, bringing with it an irresistible pressure. It was as if everything in front of him had become illusory, and only he existed for eternity. Mu Yang? The Holy Lord stared at Wang Jingyang for a long time without any expression on his face. Not bad. You've grown up and become stronger. Wang Jingyang smiled. If you want to kill Mu Yan, you'll have to step over my dead body first. The Holy Lord shook his head and said coldly, You disappoint me. From the face of this Holy Lord, one could see the vicissitudes of time, the righteousness of the human world, and also the unquenchable anger of his. Be it Mu Yan or these cloned evolvers, none of them should exist in this world, the Holy Lord said. Is that so? Wang Jingyang didn't mind. From the day the three of you stepped into the Holy Land, you should know what the Holy Land represents. Balance and righteousness, huh? Wang Jingyang sneered. But this balance and righteousness, who said it? Is it you? There's no need to say anything more. You're becoming more and more like those disgusting cloned evolvers. I won't kill you today. I hope you know what to do next. Saint Lord waved his hand. The smile on Wang Jingyang's face did not diminish. It is said that the leader of the Holy Land is the strongest evolver in the world, comparable to a true god. It is my honor to fight with the strongest in the world. End of chapter. Chapter 1539. The Holy Master pointed at the evolved beings on the ground who had lost their minds. You will end up like them. Wang Jingyang sneered. Lord Holy, you defeated my clone. What's there to be proud of? If you want to fight, fight me. As soon as he finished speaking, Wang Jingyang turned into a gust of wind and instantly approached the Holy Lord. However, before Wang Jingyang could do anything, he lost control of his body. He could not move at all. Mind domain. Wang Jingyang frowned. We are master and disciple. I will only kill Mu Yan this time. I will spare your lives. Lord Holy walked forward. Wang Jingyang wanted to break free, but the control was too strong. He was like an ant that could not break free. Do you really think that you are the true God who controls life and death in this world, that all systems should make way for you, and that every word you say is the supreme truth? Hearing this, the Holy Lord stopped in his tracks. He glanced sideways at Wang Jingyang and replied calmly, Yes. Wang Jingyang suddenly laughed. That's good too. If power represents the supreme truth in this world, then let's see, between you and me, who is the real truth. In the next second, Wang Jingyang's aura changed drastically. The first evolutionary seal was broken. The terrifying evolutionary aura was still increasing. Gusts of terrifying wind appeared around Wang Jingyang. Everything that was visible to the naked eye was engulfed in the wind. It was terrifying. The ground under Wang Jingyang's feet cracked, and the cracks spread rapidly in all directions with Wang Jingyang at the center. Under this aura, the Sacred Lord finally stopped and looked at Wang Jingyang with a slightly surprised expression. The second evolutionary seal was broken. Seeing Wang Jingyang walk toward her step by step, the sacred leader pondered, he broke free from my mental restraint. This was the first time an evolver at the pinnacle of the physical body was able to break free from his mental restraint. There had never been such a case in the past. Swoosh. After taking a few steps, Wang Jingyang disappeared once again. His speed had reached the limit of what an evolved human could handle. Lord Holy's eyes kept moving. Even though it was an inhuman speed, he could accurately see through it. In an instant, Wang Jingyang punched out, and the power of his punch was like an entire mountain range pressing down on the Holy Lord. A series of loud booms exploded in his ears. There seemed to be an invisible barrier around the Holy Master that enveloped him. Wang Jingyang's fist, which seemed to contain the power of the mountains and seas, was unable to break through this barrier. Just as Wang Jingyang was surprised, the Holy Leader suddenly teleported in front of Wang Jingyang. Wang Jingyang instinctively wanted to dodge, but his body was once again immobilized by an even more terrifying spiritual power. As expected of a disciple taught by me. To be able to reach such a level of evolution, to a certain extent, you have already surpassed Protector Long, said the sacred leader as he looked at Wang Jingyang. Before Wang Jingyang could say anything, another man who looked exactly the same as the Holy Land Protector appeared behind the Holy Lord. Wang Jingyang looked at it for a long time and said in surprise, "A clone?" Hearing that, the sacred leader did not refute and said, "You have a good eye. This is indeed my clone. However, it's strange that the clone I created has an obvious flaw." The sacred leader could not understand this. He had been studying Shang Yuan's cloning technology for the past few years. Although he could not replicate it perfectly, it should not be a problem to create a perfect clone. However, his clone obviously had some kind of flaw. My babies have been waiting for a long time. I will try to write more later. End of this chapter. Chapter 1540. There were some flaws in his clone. He couldn't control it perfectly, and he couldn't clone all of its power. Although it can't perfectly inherit my power, it should be more than enough to deal with Mu Yan and the others, Holy Lord said lightly. Hearing this, Wang Jingyang suddenly smiled and said, "Really? One of your two protectors, Protector Long, was defeated. Do you have no confidence in the other one?" Holy Lord was silent. It was not because he was not confident, but because he was too young. He was so young that he would question his faith and make a wrong decision because of his own feelings. His clone would not have such a flaw. It could act according to his orders. Even if he couldn't completely control it, it was enough. Holy Lord. You're always talking about benevolence, righteousness, and morality. You're always talking about balance and how clones should die. Wang Jingyang looked at the clone body of the Holy Master and said, "Then, what is he? Who created him? I originally thought that we were just standing on different sides and perspectives, and there was no right or wrong between us. But now, it seems that the most hypocritical person in the world is you." Holy Lord turned around and looked at Wang Jingyang again. Where there is light, there is darkness. As long as I can control this darkness, it can also become light. Wang Jingyang thought for a while and sneered, "To put it bluntly, it is a heinous crime for others to create clones, but it is natural for you to create clones. It doesn't matter how you interpret it," Holy Lord said. After that, Holy Lord gave an order to the clone. In the next second, the clone disappeared from Wang Jingyang's sight without a trace. At this moment, Wang Jingyang's face was solemn. It would take some time to unlock the third seal. But could Xiao Ji resist the clone of the Holy Lord? Even if it was just a clone, it was still the clone of the Holy Lord. It was very likely that he would die. "Bai Zai, have you really made up your mind?" Wang Jingyang said thoughtfully. He once asked Xiao Ji whether their friendship was real or fake. Xiao Ji was silent and did not answer. But Wang Jingyang knew that the softest side of Xiao Ji's heart had long been broken with the destruction of the mountains and seas. Xiao Ji had watched those unbreakable fetters disappear from the world little by little. Because of his wrong decision, many brothers and sisters of the mountains and seas died tragically. The faces that were once alive disappeared from his eyes. Wang Jingyang knew this pain very well. But Xiao Ji had to bear more than anyone else. Jiao Feng had a special evolutionary ability. If she couldn't bear the pain, her evolutionary ability would automatically modify or even delete it, but Xiao Ji didn't have this ability. If his judgment had not been wrong back then, he might have been able to escape this calamity. He was the brains of the mountains and seas, one of the pillars of the mountains and seas. Almost all of their operations were arranged by Xiao Ji. At that time, if Xiao Ji hadn't chosen to let the mountains and seas and the Holy Land fight, if he had thought of the arrival of the two protectors, perhaps they wouldn't have ended up in such a tragic situation. He had not underestimated the battle prowess of the mountains and seas. He had underestimated the battle prowess of the Holy Land. Therefore, not only did Xiao Ji have to bear the pain, but he also had to blame himself. Xiao Ji had only told him that he would take responsibility and make up for it. If that day came, he would not hesitate to pay any price to avenge Shanghai and pay for the mistakes he had made due to his blind arrogance. End of chapter. Chapter 1541. What's wrong? Mu Ningxuang stepped forward when she noticed that something was wrong with Xiao Ji and Yun Xian. Yun Xian broke out in a cold sweat. Run. Run. Otherwise, it will be too late. What's going on? Mu Yu sensed that something was amiss. However, her mental strength wasn't as strong as Xiao Ji and Yun Xian's. The holy leader's clone, replied Yun Xian. The holy leader's clone? Mu Yu's pupils constricted. She had controlled Shang Yuan's experimental technology, so she naturally knew what a clone meant. A clone wasn't scary, but if it was the holy leader, it would be a completely different story. Doesn't the Holy Ground hate clones the most? It condemns this experimental technology and has held talks with the Shang Corporation and the evolved clans. How could the holy leader have a clone? Mu Yu couldn't understand. Is there a need to ask? It's a famous double standard. Others can't use this technology, but it's reasonable and legal. After all, it's the truth, replied Mu Feng. Now isn't the time to discuss this. We are no match for the holy leader's clone, so we have to run, said Yun Xian. Lin Yan's heart was thumping wildly. She didn't doubt Yun Xian's words. It was just a clone. Couldn't they defeat it? I have to save Doggy. Lin Yan's eyes were filled with determination. She didn't have any memories of the past. She didn't care if Wang Jingyang was Mu Yang or not. It didn't matter if he was her brother or her best friend since young. She couldn't accept the fact that there was one less person in her life. She didn't know what Xiao Ji meant by unlocking the 3 seals. She only knew that if the holy leader was that powerful, Wang Jingyang would die. I got it. Xiao Ji glanced at Lin Yan. Guardian Yun will take you guys away. I'll go save him. Yun Xian studied Xiao Ji, as though he had understood something. Do you want to stay and deal with the holy leader's clone alone? No way. Lin Yan grabbed Xiao Ji's wrist. Xiao Ji glanced at Lin Yan with a complicated look in his eyes. However, he regained his composure and replied calmly, I'm not that stupid to fight the Holy Lord's clone alone. You don't have to worry about me or Mu Yang. Then tell me what your plan is. Lin Yan couldn't calm down. With Guardian Yun's protection, I believe the clone won't succeed so quickly. I'll use my psychic power to avoid the clone and find Mu Yang. Although we're no match for the Sacred Lord, we can still escape with him, said Xiao Ji. Even though his words couldn't withstand scrutiny, Lin Yan's emotions were in a mess right now. She had almost lost her ability to judge. Are you serious? Asked Lin Yan with a frown. What else? Xiao Ji glanced at Lin Yan. I'm not that stupid. I know that I'm no match for them. Lin Yan was speechless. Lin Yan didn't refute him. Xiao Ji's EQ might be negative, but his IQ was perfect. He wouldn't do something so stupid. Xiao Ji. Lin Yan clutched Xiao Ji's arm tightly. Thank you. Also, as long as your life isn't in danger, you have to help me save. Wang Jingyang. Xiao Ji's heart tightened when he saw Lin Yan's teary eyes. He wanted to say something, but he was powerless. End of chapter. Chapter 1542. Okay. Don't worry. I promise you that I will bring Mu Yang to meet you safely. When the time comes, we will work together to eliminate the Holy Lord's clone. When Pei Yucheng breaks through successfully, he will deal with the Holy Lord. A rare smile appeared on Xiao Ji's face. Definitely. Everything will be fine. You guys have to, live. Lin Yan replied. Xiao Ji could sense that Lin Yan's hand was trembling violently. Then leave quickly. Don't hinder me, said Xiao Ji. Remember what you promised me, Bai Zai. Lin Yan looked at Xiao Ji and called out his name in Mountain Sea. Xiao Ji's heart couldn't help but tremble when he heard this name. Okay, replied Xiao Ji. As Lin Yan and the others were about to leave, Xiao Ji suddenly said, Jiufeng, don't forget our agreement. Lin Yan stood in front of the door. If I recover my memory one day, remember to help me heal my legs, said Xiao Ji. I will. Lin Yan replied, if I recover my memory and ability, I will help you become the most powerful spiritual evolved being in the world. This is our agreement. Thank you. Let's go, said Xiao Ji. Mu Ningxuang and the others couldn't help but stare at Xiao Ji. Yun Xian led Lin Yan and the others away quickly. Mu Feng and the others delayed for a moment. After Lin Yan left, Mu Feng patted Xiao Ji's shoulder. I'll stay and help you. Xiao Ji replied calmly, you guys aren't evolved beings in the spiritual domain. You will only be a hindrance if you stay. Let's go. Big brother. Xiao Zai gritted his teeth. What do you mean? Xiao Yao looked at Xiao Ji and placed his trembling hands on Xiao Ji's shoulders. Big brother, don't force yourself. If you want to leave, no one can stop you. Xiao Ji smiled and said, do you think I can't defeat the Holy Lord's clone? Given Big Brother's spiritual domain. Even if you can't defeat it, escaping won't be a problem, said Xiao Yao. Protector Yun's meaning was obvious. Even if it was a clone, it had probably inherited a portion of the Holy Lord's power. Even if Protector Yun and Big Brother joined forces, they wouldn't have a chance of winning. Don't worry. After reaching the pinnacle of the spiritual realm, I've gained some insights. These powers can be tested on the Holy Lord's clone. Don't worry about me. As you said, even if I can't win, the clone can't stop me if I want to leave, Xiao Ji said. With Xiao Ji's assurance, Xiao Yao and Xiao Zai were slightly relieved. Alright, you can communicate with Guardian Yun mentally at any time. Try to stall for time. Jiufeng said that Pei Yucheng is evolving and breaking through. Once he breaks through successfully, the two of you will be invincible in this world and can fight the holy leader. Xiao Yao looked determined. After a while, only Xiao Ji was left in the room. Jiufeng, I hope I can keep the promise between us. I hope, Xiao Ji muttered. Soon, Xiao Ji got in touch with Yun Xian through spirit telekinesis. How many clones are there in total? Yun Xiao asked. Only one. Yun Xian replied, I don't know the exact situation, but I can be sure that the Holy Lord only has one clone. I guess that the Holy Lord's cloning technique should be very ordinary. Otherwise, the Holy Lord wouldn't have only created one clone. All these years, the Holy Lord has been contacting the head of the Shang family. His goal is to obtain Shang Yuan's cloning technique so that he can produce more clones and make them more perfect. End of this chapter. Chapter 1543. Xiao Ji fell into deep thought after hearing Yun Xian's words. It didn't make sense that there was only one clone. This shouldn't be a problem with experimental technology. Otherwise, if the Holy Lord had the ability to clone one, he would be able to clone more. If what Yun Xian said was true, there was probably a bigger problem. This might be the key to defeating the Holy Lord. Perhaps, he would be able to obtain some useful information while fighting with the clones. Xiao Ji had thought of countless possibilities of fighting with the Holy Lord and how to deal with it. However, he still didn't know how to defeat the Holy Lord. He hadn't expected this day to come so quickly. It was so fast that he was caught off guard. Xiao Ji understood that he was the best candidate to defeat the Lord of the Holy Land, but the key was Mu Yan. His body was already overwhelmed. If he broke through forcefully, he was afraid that his body would turn into dust instantly. If Mu Yan could use her unique ability to help him, the Holy Lord might be defeated. Unfortunately, he took everything for granted and neglected some of the most important variables. Mu Yan did not regain her memories, nor did she regain her abilities. His thoughts and plans had completely gone up in smoke. Pei Yucheng, you chose to break through at this time. Can you bear the risk of evolution? Xiao Ji was deep in thought. Even if Pei Yucheng broke through successfully, would he be able to fight the Holy Lord? No matter what, he had to get rid of the Holy Lord's clone. There might be a glimmer of hope if he faced the Holy Lord alone. However, if the Holy Lord's clone was involved, there would be endless darkness. After a long time, Xiao Ji opened his eyes. His psychic power had already sensed that the terrifyingly powerful evolved aura was rapidly approaching. Clone. Xiao Ji muttered. He had no chance of winning in a conventional battle. But even so, he couldn't retreat. Once he did, it would be a dead end for him. Not only could he not give up, but he also had to destroy the Holy Leader's clone here. Otherwise, he would also die. I think I have already come to the same realization as you. Xiao Ji chuckled, and his eyes changed color in an instant. A huge eye appeared in the sky and shrouded everything like a crescent moon in the night. It was extremely strange. In the distance, Wang Jingyang and the sacred leader raised their heads at the same time, looking at the eye of heaven. Xiao Ji, Wang Jingyang stared at the eye of heaven, a bitter smile on his face. Boom. Under the gaze of the eye of heaven, the expression of the sacred Lord clone changed drastically. His body felt like it was being crushed by a mountain, so heavy that he couldn't move. The evolution of the mental domain. The clone stared at the eye of heaven, and its expression changed slightly. In this world, is there anyone more terrifying than Yunxian? It seems like I have miscalculated, the clone muttered to himself. The next second, the clone placed its palms on the ground, seemingly sensing the location of Xiao Ji. That's right. Perfect defense mode. Can't I sense his location? The clone pondered. Perfect mental attack and mental control, and perfect shielding defense. Is the goal to stall me? Just as the clone was thinking, his body became heavier, and the ground beneath his feet started to crumble. End of chapter. Chapter 1544. This type of spiritual evolved being was usually extremely fragile. As long as he found his location, he could kill him instantly. However, the clone needed to think about how to find Xiao Ji's location. If he couldn't find him, he wouldn't be able to kill him. He would be completely useless and could only be held back for a long time. A game of mice and cats. The clone sneered coldly and emitted a strong spiritual fluctuation. As the spiritual fluctuation emerged, the clone escaped Xiao Ji's spiritual restraint in a moment. My mission is to kill Mu Yan, not to play a game of cat and mouse with you. Stop your tricks. I have no interest in you. The clone vanished instantly. The clone couldn't sense Xiao Ji's location, but he could easily track the whereabouts of Lin Yan and the others. Spiritual evolution. Physical evolution. In a secluded place, Xiao Ji's eyes were filled with surprise. The clone of the Holy Master not only had a powerful spiritual domain that wasn't inferior to his, but it also had an immortal body. In this world, he had never heard of or seen such an evolver. Spiritual attacks were ineffective against the clone, and physical attacks were also ineffective against him. It seemed impossible to defeat him. The eye of heaven above the void had been observing the clone's movements. Soon, Xiao Ji understood that the clone's target was Mu Yan. He didn't intend to find him. This was what Xiao Ji didn't want to see the most. Long-range spiritual attacks were relatively weak, and the clone's spiritual domain was also very powerful. It was almost impossible for long-range attacks to affect him. However, if he got close, he would die. A clone like this could kill everyone here, let alone the holy leader. If the clone wasn't eliminated, there would be no need to continue fighting. The clone must die here. Otherwise. Xiao Ji's eyes were filled with determination. The clone ran for a long time before he entered a valley. The corners of his mouth gradually curled up as he caught up with Mu Yan and the others. Soon, the smile on the clone's face disappeared. There was no target here. There was no one around. Are you looking for me? A cold voice rang out from within the room. The clone instinctively turned to the side. It was a pair of cold and strange eyes. The clone and Xiao Ji stared at each other. In an instant, Xiao Ji's eyes moved rapidly, as though the world had lost all its color. After a few seconds, the clone's face turned pale and he stumbled backward. After he stabilized himself, dark red blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. Looking at the man in the wheelchair who had an indifferent expression on his face, the clone was a little surprised. Did you use your spiritual power to deceive my senses and guide me to this place? The clone asked Xiao Ji. Xiao Ji glanced at the clone and sneered. Your spiritual domain is indeed very powerful, but you have neglected some details that won't threaten you. The clone did not refute him. He did not expect that this man would deliberately use his spiritual power to change the direction of his senses. He made the clone think that he was moving in the direction of Mu Yan, but in reality, he had already deviated from it. Not only that, but he had also schemed against him and caught him off guard, allowing him to be accurately hit by his mental attack. End. Chapter 1545. The clone looked at Xiao Ji calmly and said, "You are very smart and powerful. You have a bright future ahead of you. You don't have to die here." Future? As the clone's voice fell, Xiao Ji patted his legs and laughed. My future has been exchanged for enough power to kill you. I'm just a clone. What's the point of killing me? The clone asked. After a moment of silence, Xiao Ji said, It's very meaningful. Killing you, there's still hope. The clone said, You seem to overestimate your strength. Do you know what the consequences are? You may really have no future. Future? Hearing this, the corners of Xiao Ji's mouth rose slightly, forming an inexplicable smile. The future, I bet on tomorrow, on the people who are important to me. Then you are not suitable for gambling. The clone said, In my eyes, you are already a dead man. Maybe. Xiao Ji did not refute. An evolver in the spiritual field like you is indeed rare in the world. Unfortunately, you are too stupid. If you hide, maybe I can't do anything to you. But you led me here to face you, and the only thing waiting for you is death. The clone stared at Xiao Ji. How do you know if you don't try? As Xiao Ji's voice fell, countless angry thunderbolts fell from the void and instantly struck at the clone. The clone's reaction was also extremely fast, and he dodged the thunderbolt in an instant. Rare, it's really rare. You are not only an evolver in the spiritual field, but also an evolver who can control the power of nature. But, is that all you have? The clone asked. That's all I have, Xiao Ji said. The clone was a little confused. What was the purpose of this person leading him here? If it was just to delay time, he could have led him to other places. Wasn't it suicidal to lure him here? Would an evolver at this level be so stupid? Although it was a little strange, the clone did not think that Xiao Ji could pose a real threat to him. As for Mu Yan, it was only a matter of time before she died. Soon, Xiao Ji's eyes turned slightly, and the void around the clone seemed to be distorted. A strong spiritual fluctuation completely swallowed the clone. However, the clone waved his hand to disperse the spiritual fluctuation and flew towards Xiaoji at a speed invisible to the naked eye. Swish! With a punch, Xiaoji's body was shattered. The clone was a little surprised. When the punch landed on the man's body, there was no physical sensation. It was as if he had punched air. The clone shook his head and wrapped himself with his spiritual power. Only then did he realize that there was no one here. He had been controlled by the man's spiritual domain just now and had an illusion. "Are you looking for me, clone?" Xiaoji's voice sounded from behind. The clone turned around and found that Xiaoji was very close to him. Their eyes met. The clone saw that Xiaoji's eyes turned quickly again. An increasingly surreal feeling caused the clone's mind to waver. It was as if everything was fake, as if everything was an illusion. At the same time, beneath the eye of heaven, Xiaoji appeared beside the clone. The clone's expression was blank, and his eyes were dull. From the moment the eye of heaven appeared, the clone had already fallen into the spiritual world constructed by the Xiaoji. There was no valley, let alone guiding him to any place. End of chapter. Chapter 1546. Under the sky full of yellow sand, the eye of heaven was extremely strange. It was like the eye of a true god, overlooking the whole world. Looking at the clone's spiritual fluctuations getting stronger and stronger, Xiaoji frowned deeply. He didn't have much time left. The clone's spiritual domain was also very terrifying. He had realized that he had fallen into an illusion constructed by spiritual power, and it wouldn't take long for him to wake up. Unfortunately, he couldn't kill the clone at this moment. Xiaoji's spiritual power kept sensing something from the clone. After a long time, a look of surprise appeared on Xiaoji's face. He finally understood. The key to defeating the Sacred Lord. At this moment, he could leave, but he couldn't. He had grasped the truth. He had to make the most difficult choice in his life, and this choice must be made before the clone woke up. For a long time, Xiaoji didn't move. Even at the last moment, he didn't leave. "Yes, I really underestimated you. From the beginning to the end, I fell into your spiritual illusion." The clone stared at Xiaoji indifferently. In the next second, the clone's palm instantly penetrated Xiaoji's chest. Xiaoji didn't dodge at all. After his chest was penetrated, he spat out a mouthful of blood. However, Xiaoji didn't seem to feel any pain. He grabbed the clone's palm with a strange smile on his face. "Clone. No, I should call you Sacred Lord." As Xiaoji's voice fell, the clone frowned. "How did you find out?" "I've always been curious. The Sacred Lord has mastered the cloning technology, but he can only clone you. So that's why." Xiaoji smiled. Hearing this, the clone's face changed. "If it was just a simple unconscious clone with weak spiritual power, it wouldn't have taken me so much trouble to drag you into the spiritual illusion," Xiaoji said. "What does this mean?" the clone asked. "You won't be able to create a real clone because your cells are severely flawed. You won't be able to create a clone with consciousness like Muyu. You even killed your own disciple, you won't trust anyone, so how can you create a clone that has your own power and consciousness? Therefore, you have to channel almost half of your spiritual power into this unconscious clone body. This way, you will be able to control this clone body perfectly." The clone nodded in agreement. That was indeed the case. His genetic cells had some unknown flaws that prevented him from creating a perfect clone. It was also impossible for him to create a clone that had its own consciousness and power. Therefore, after creating this unconscious clone, he sealed his spirit in this clone. This way, the clone would have absolute power and be completely under his control. "So, what can you do even if you find out? Or do you think that I can't kill you?" the clone asked. "I will die, Anne. I will die soon, but so will you." A crazy smile appeared on Xiaoji's face. Trying to be mysterious. "Pooh. The clone's left palm instantly penetrated Xiao Ji's heart. Blood dyed Xiao Ji's clothes bright red. However, Xiao Ji was still holding the clone body tightly and was unwilling to let go. End of chapter. Chapter 1547. Xiao Ji's consciousness gradually blurred, but the smile on his face didn't diminish. His eyes were filled with unprecedented firmness and determination. At the moment of his death, laughter appeared in his mind. It was the laughter he was familiar with, the laughter of the people who used to be alive. They were his family, his comrades in arms, and the fetters he couldn't give up. What the sacred land owes us, I want you to pay it back with interest. Do you know that you've cut off all my fetters? You deserve to die 10,000 times. Like the final radiance of a setting sun, Xiao Ji suddenly raised his head and roared angrily. His eyes were filled with determination. The eye of heaven in the air suddenly opened wide, and a terrifying mental energy fluctuation condensed into a beam of light that immediately locked onto the clone body. What? Feeling the enormous mental energy that the eye of heaven couldn't resist, the clone's expression changed drastically. In an instant, all the mental energy beams were shot into his body. The clone body wailed in pain. He could feel a strange mental energy entering his clone body and trying to seize control of his body. You can actually use mental energy to invade my body? When did it start? I know you're very strong, and I can't defeat you. From beginning to end, I never thought of defeating you. As long as I seal your mental energy, everything will be over. If you want to know when it started, I can tell you that when the eye came out of the void, it was already absorbing all of my mental energy. All for this moment, to send my mental energy into this body. Get out. What, are you afraid? Is it worth it? You'll disappear completely, including your mental energy, forever. It's worth it. Sealing half of your mental energy can not only greatly weaken your body, but it can also completely kill this evolved body. Just my life is worth it. Even so, do you think your friend can defeat my body? I believe in my comrades in arms. They'll take advantage of the opportunity I've brought them. As for your mental energy, ha 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 ha, come with me, to hell. With a rumble, Xiao Ji's body fell to the ground. The clone body was still making a final struggle, but unfortunately, it was all in vain. Xiao Ji's mental energy body completely sealed the half of the mental energy that the Sacred Lord had left in the clone body and disappeared with him. His consciousness was dying. For so many years, he had carried too many things on his back. It was the ultimate pursuit of power. It was self-blame and guilt. It was the despair of being unable to protect something. More than once, he had asked himself what his mission was and when it would be. Now, he understood that his mission was at this very moment. Does he deserve to be forgiven? It was because of his blindness and ignorance that his comrade died. Would his comrade forgive him? If you can, please forgive him. If he could turn back time, he would definitely protect everyone. If he could turn back time, he would definitely not let the tragedy repeat itself. Since there were no ifs, he would grasp the future well. He would complete his mission at this moment. Jiao Feng, perhaps this is all I can do to help you. I don't owe you any more. I really want to fulfill the promise between us. I'm sorry, the future is in your hands. Don't let me down. Finally, thank you. End of chapter. You're tuning into the Biyao's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.